Today we'll discuss a project to change planet Venus or Mars to a planet like Earth that is more suitable for human life. Before we start the project itself, let's look at some domino effects. Traditional domino effect, if we beforehand make arrangements of many pieces of dominoes such that when we knock down the first piece, when it falls down, it will knock down the second. And when the second piece falls down, it will knock down the third. So on and so forth. It will not make a chain reaction, just like these video clips found in YouTube. Another kind of domino effect is incremental domino, where a smaller piece of domino will knock down a bigger piece, and a bigger piece of domino will knock down a even bigger piece, just like this video clip found in YouTube.
Is that a domino can knock over another domino which is about 1.5 times larger. So what I have here is a chain of dominoes. Each one is 1.5 times larger than the previous one. And the smallest domino is about 5 millimeters high and 1 millimeter thick. And I will carefully place it. And there are 13 dominoes, and the largest domino, it weighs about 100 pounds and is more than a meter tall. Ready?
Now back to our project to change Venus or Mars to become a planet more like Earth that is more suitable for life. Let's first take a look at a simple simulation of inner planets orbiting the Sun. In astrobiology, scientists often define a habitable zone. If a planet is too close to its Sun, then it will be too hot, not good for life. If a planet is too far away from its Sun, then it will be too cold, also not good for life. Turns out only planet like Earth that is not too close, not too far away, not too hot, not too cold, would be suitable for life. Thus, to achieve our goal, we really just need to change the orbit of Venus or Mars to be closer to Earth. But how do we change the orbit of a planet? A planet is usually very big. Even a nuclear blast could not have much effect on it. That's why we discussed the incremental domino effect. We already know that we could make missiles, nuclear weapons, space stations. Let's also take a look at the solar system to see what else we could move. In fact, in solar system, beside the 9 planets, there are also 2 asteroid belts. One is just between the inner planets and outer planets, just beyond the Mars. The other is beyond all planets. Asteroids beyond all major planets are all quite far. Let's ignore them for the time being. In inner belts, there are tens of thousands of asteroids of all different sizes. The bigger ones are just like planets that is very hard to move. But there are smaller ones. What if we could move smaller ones to impact the bigger ones and have the bigger ones to impact the planet? So I went back to my college gravity theory and did some simulations, and the results are quite interesting. We know that the orbit of Earth is almost circular. Let's just use Earth's orbit as base. Let's see what effect it would have on its orbit when we change the speed of the Earth. Our first simulation is to add a 20% of its original speed outwards, perpendicular to its moving direction. We notice the orbit has changed, but not that big. Our next simulation is to add a 20% of its original speed along its moving direction. And we notice the orbit change is quite dramatic. Similarly, if we reduce the speed by 20% along its moving direction, the orbit change is also quite noticeable to the wide orbit. Now we know if we change the speed of a planet, then we could change its orbits. Let's move on to a real-world simulation. In this simulation, we have 3 celestial bodies. This is the small one is asteroids. This is Earth, this is Venus. All orbits scale to the real distance of the Sun according to Wikipedia. If we could send a satellite or nuclear weapon to slow down its asteroid sufficiently, then its new orbit could overlap its Venus. And if we calculate the time and location right, then the asteroid could collide with Venus, and the Venus, after collision, would move to a new orbit. This is closer to the Earth. That is all. Our project to change Venus or Mars to be like Earth, by moving something smaller but controllable to impact something that we could not move if we try directly. Now, in our simulation, we did exaggerate the impact of this asteroid to the Venus, and our simulation obviously is quite rough, but we do have so many experts out there, right? Thank you.